All right. So this is something which I always say, and I fully believe in it. You are not supposed to look for the correct answer. You are supposed to look for the best answer. There's a difference
Mm,
between the correct answer and the best answer. There is nothing like correct answer. A correct answer is a fiction of your own mind. You have certain idea about certain question, and you think that this should be the correct answer, right?
mm,
And there could be multiple correct answers, or there
right,
could be no correct answer as per your point of view, right? You should not try to find the correct answer. You should try to find the best answer. Now, what is
right,
the meaning of a best answer? A best answer, or the best answer, is the answer which is the best of the given options, which means rather than looking
right,
for which one is the best, you are looking for which one is not the best and eliminating it. And that's what we call as process of elimination. See, this
right.
is the mind trick. This is please hear this very carefully and apply this whenever you are trying to find an answer, especially for MCQs. Don't try to look for the correct answer. Try
Right.
to eliminate the wrong answers one by one. I
Yes.
don't like this, so I'm cutting this off. I don't like this. I mean, not don't like this. I have an evidence against this, so I'm cutting this off. I have an evidence for this, I'm cutting this off. Like that, you should go about it.
Agreed, agreed. Sir, I 100% agree with that. And this technique is something which I use for the third section when the passage becomes really complicated. Probably in part one and part two, we can pick out the answer just looking at the passage.
Hmm.
It just
Hmm.
so happens. And this technique, which you just said, like completely agree to it. It's just that it is sort of time consuming
Hmm.
because we need to make sure that we need to cut off the remaining three and
No,
get to
no,
the
no,
right
no, no.
one.
See, again,
Mm,
um,
yeah.
going from my home to the next square would be very time consuming if I am a slow driver and if I am driving my car for the first time. Yeah,
Right.
you know, time should not become a constraint to choose the right method. Even if it is time consuming at the initial stage, after some time your mind will get used to it so fast that will keep on eliminating stuff very, very quickly. I've seen this happening with many parties. That's what it is. See, first standardize, then optimize. What do you mean by optimization? Optimization is taking it to the next level, where you start doing things faster, right? There are two things. There are two goals with which you always go. First is precision, second is speed. you know Many a
Mm,
times when you try to be precise, you lose on speed, right?
right.
And whenever you try to pick up speed, you lose on precision. So this is
Yes.
an eternal battle, unsolved puzzle. It's an enigma. How do you solve this? The moment you try
Mm,
to become fast, you lose on precision and you select the wrong answer. The
yes.
moment you try to be too precise, you lose on time
Time.
and you lose time. So what do you do now? That's
I
the
guess
that's the
practice
exact
makes
problem
perfect.
that you are facing, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what to do?
I think over the period of time, practice has helped me to sort of automate
No,
things.
no, no, no. Again, don't go into that direction. Practice won't help.
Okay.
Has anyone
So,
got an answer? I see all the things that we are discussing. I've already answered them, and I've already sent them to you.
right, right. I will
So,
check out the videos since, yes, last night I actually joined the.
has anyone gone through this video which addresses this part? What should you do to find the right mix of precision and speed? What should you do?
I'll definitely go through the videos. Like, I'm pretty much not aware because last night I
That's
joined the.
fine, but I want the ones who are aware. Any ideas? You all guys have been into lots of different things, and there are some maybe senior people who are guiding people. So I've got a problem here. If the moment I try to be fast, the moment that I try to go fast, I lose on precision. The moment I try to be too precise, I lose on speed, and I have to maintain speed as well as precision. That's my problem. Can somebody suggest me, please? What do I do? I'm a beginner. Speed is also important, and getting the right answer is also important. But I don't know what to do. How do I prepare?
I think knowing the right keywords will help, will it?
Okay, so Preeti, please go ahead. Yeah.
So I think for a beginner,
Hmm.
it's actually counterproductive to strive for perfection. You know
Hmm.
what a beginner does is they try to be perfect in the very
No, no,
first
no. So
attempt.
again, my question is this:
No, no,
I've got two goals. Either I
yes,
should get perfection. So let me call it as perfection. So I've got two
yes,
goals: perfection and speed. So what should I aim at
sir,
instead?
I guess one should aim at becoming precise first.
Yeah, I fully agree to you. So don't worry about speed at the initial stage. If you have got a test paper which is supposed to be completed, thank you so much. That's the point I was trying to make. See, when you are trying to drive your car the first day, do you go with the goal of going at the speed of 80 kilometer per hour? What would happen if you do that?
Probably crash.
Yeah, so please go ahead with very, very optimum, I mean, not even optimum, below optimum speed. Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead. Vivo 1951. What is your name? I don't know, but yes, you can go ahead, please.
Really sorry, sir. I'm Jeel. Okay, and I'm also preparing for the same test
Hmm.
for a few months now, and I'm finding it like quite difficult and easy after practice. So the answer to your question is that you very rightly said that I have to be good at my techniques of answering or getting the questions, I mean, understanding the questions and getting the answers right. So
Mm.
there are different types of questions in
Mm.
reading and listening.
Hmm.
Every question, set of question has a particular technique.
Yes.
If we get that right, as you rightly said, that you when you are driving a car, you cannot go fast at the very first go. You will have to understand the rules. You will have to go through the gear system. You will have to practice that one by one.
Mm.
So when you do that, automatically down the line, if you are a beginner, at least it will take you a month to get used to the type of questions. And then
Mm.
secondly, once you get the techniques around your head, and then automatically you will come up with your speed. So that's
Yeah.
what happened with me with reading. First, it used to take around like more than 1 hour. I used to set timer
Hmm.
literally, and it used to go to 1 hour, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Now what happens is that I literally finish my tests within like 45, 50 minutes, 53 minutes. I have my times written down with all the books, all the
Yeah.
tests,
Yeah.
and I note down where I'm making mistakes, which question is not going good for me. So I have note down, I made a diary. This is how it helps for beginners. I'm sure, sir, I'm not a teacher, sorry. I have just been working my way through all these difficult IELTS tests and the technique things. So I'm just sharing my experience. You may correct me if I'm wrong, sir, anywhere, with all due respect. So this is what I have understood. Even with listening, it's the same thing. Listening and reading both have typical set of questions. And what I do, if I find there is one thing in listening, uh, जहाँ पे we have this a person going through a taking students through a tour, and then we have this a set of questions from A to answers from A to E. We have to select the answers, and it goes really fast. So I fumble upon all these things, especially this set of questions. So what I have done is I have been listening to this kind of only particular sections, practicing them and getting my hand on it, and then going through again the test. So it reduces my time and the accuracy of my answers.
Yeah. What's your
So
name
yes,
again,
sir.
please?
Sir, my name is Jeel.
How do you spell
J
it?
H J H double E L.
Oh, Jeel.
Yes, sir.
All right. And where are you from, Jeel?
I'm from Gujarat actually.
All right. All right. Where from Gujarat?
Vadodara.
Oh, I have been in Vadodara. I stayed in Vadodara for almost 3, 4 years. I used to work
Great.
at Geda Circle.
Uh-huh,
and
right.
I used to stay at Old Padra Road. So great.
Oh, right.
Uh, Absolutely. I mean, the way you have stated is absolutely right, and I fully second and I fully support what you're saying. It does make sense to
Mhm.
first develop precision, because if you
Yes.
do something incorrect and you do it fast, it turns into an incorrect habit and then it becomes very difficult to change. So please don't pay attention to time, at least during the initial stages, for at least 10-15 days to a month's time, as Sheil just said. And after that, speed is a consequence of doing something again and again. You cannot really go with the goal of developing speed. You can always apply techniques, but then application of techniques would itself take time, because you have to understand the technique correctly, right? So
Mm.
yeah, first precision, then speed. And in case you are taking time for something, it simply means that, of course, you have to practice more. And there is a right way to practice as well. I mentioned, like yesterday, if you are going through those posts, which I've been saying, you guys really cannot be worried for the 1 hour thing in the beginning. Just go for, yeah, that's correct. That's very correct. Absolutely. And yeah, so yesterday I was telling you something. If you have got time to prepare 20 tests, to take 20 tests before the exam, you've got time to take 20 tests before the exam. Let's say you have fixed up a goal that before the exam I must take 20 mock tests. All right, I would suggest you to take 5 tests 4 times rather than taking 20 different tests, because the learning would happen when you do the same test using a different technique and perspective. You cannot learn by taking many tests. You will learn by taking the same test many times. So, the simple technique, if you really want to teach IELTS to yourself and you want to become a teacher, is, I mean, teacher for yourself, is take 5 tests, or 5 is less, let's say 6 tests, enough. 6 tests, do them 4 times. First, do those 6 tests, understand every bit of it, and as Jill said, write down the things which where you are going wrong. And of course, what she said, I really liked it very much. In listening, she was going wrong on some specific types of questions. Let's say maps. So do the same type of question for all the tests. Like wherever you find a map, just do that. And I discussed about a 3 tab technique, which I discussed in those tutorials. So, you can go through that. You can open 3 tabs. In the first tab, open the test paper. In the second tab, open the transcript. In the third tab, open the answers and check it, how they were speaking, what they were speaking. So that will give you an exact idea of what these guys said. So yeah, 2 things here. Number one, if you have got time to take 20 tests, pick up 4 tests or 5 tests, do them 4 times rather than doing 20 different tests. That's one. And two, make note of where you go wrong. So yeah, those are the 2 points. Yeah, Preeti, I believe you wanted to say something. Shiv Shankar Singh.
Uh,
Yeah, one, just give me 1 second. When I take a test second time or the third time, there are many answers. Ah, that's the thing. See, ah, this is the very point I wanted to come to. The moment you come to the test doing it the second or the third time, you will start remembering the answers. You know what will happen when you start remembering the answers? You will start remembering the techniques to get those answers also. When you sleep in the night on your bed, you would be able to recall, oh, this is how I got it. In the first round, it went wrong. The second time, I remembered the answer. So, second time, when you do the test, you would be a little relaxed because you already know the answer. And that's where speed will generate. See, you have joined a new office. Okay, you're going there for the first time, right? First day, you go slow. Second day, you automatically become fast because you know that is the destination, right? You know the answer, sort of, right? You develop speed. So you develop confidence that even if I go fast, I will reach my office safely, because now you are going there for the second time. And while going there for the second time, you look for chai ki dukan, pan ki dukan, ye banda, wo banda in the rasta, and you still reach home without reach office without problem, right? You are relaxed. You are not so much concerned about how will I reach office. You enjoy the journey, right? This will happen when you do the test the second time. Since you already know the answer, your focus would be on the passage. How did this person wrote this? Do role play as if you are, you're doing it for the first time. Oh, all this was bakwas. This one was not really meant for me to read. This was more like a smoke screen. The answer was hidden here. So when you know this, when you do the test the second or the third time, you get to understand the trainer's mindset, how they show the answer, how they hide the answer. Do you all agree that it makes a lot of sense to do the same test 2 to 3 times?
Yes, and now I got your point. Today only I was following your tip and doing the iterations. On
Uh-huh.
the first attempt in the listening, I got 32. But then I again when I was trying it, so this doubt came in my mind. But
Hmm.
now when you have explained, I got your point that how it's gonna help.
Yeah. And I'm telling you that nothing is required. It
Yeah,
will be
because
so much of fun, because it will be when you develop something yourself, the kind of feeling you get is very different than
uh,
somebody guiding you, telling you, you know, as if taking your finger and taking from point A to point B.
So one
So,
more particular problem I want to discuss regarding listening only, that many times it happens, and I think with many person it may have happened also, that when we are listening and we are searching for a particular answer, and by mistake it just go away. So in the meantime, while focusing on that particular answer, we lose the track and miss next 2 3 answers also.
yeah,
So how to control that?
yeah. So don't be a perfectionist. Let this go. So Sheenam scored 8.5 in her listening, and she got one or two questions incorrect. But just one day before her exam, when she called me up, I told her, don't be a perfectionist. एक आधी का बलि चढ़ाना जरूरी है. So in case you lose one or two questions, just forget them. Write something which comes in your mind and move to the next question. Because listening is not a test of intelligence, it's a test of your reflections, right? It's not about how good you are in English or in content. It's about how your mind is, how fresh you are at that time. Even the most intelligent person, if he or she is not fresh, he would not do listening very nicely, but he can write a very nice essay, because
Yes.
listening is more a test of your reactions and how you quickly respond to something.
Hello. Sir, I completely agree with this point of yours. I had a similar experience recently when I gave my exams on the 4th of December.
Hmm.
So I missed out on two questions, specifically two questions in listening. I was 100% sure that I don't know the answer to one of the question, and the other question I completely missed out on it. Like I left it blank.
Hmm.
Although I did get 8.5, that means I got all the remaining 38 questions right.
Hmm.
And I was expecting I would probably get somewhere around 6.5 or so, but
Hmm.
that wasn't the case. I actually got 8.5. So I completely relate to this point when you said
Yeah.
that.
And to answer your question, Asmita, uh, let's come to vocabulary. How to deal with vocabulary? Okay. Um, anyone who could. So my technique of vocabulary, I'll simply tell you first. Whenever I encounter a word which is new to me, I cut it. I don't even read it the second time, and I try to read the sentence without that particular word. And 90% of the time, the context is enough to help me get the right answer. So if you get some difficult words, until and unless there is some specific question on that word, you can ignore it. You'll do well not to read it. Cut it. Just say something. Instead of that word, say something, you know, da da da, something da da da. I have an example if it. In fact, all these questions we have discussed this. So when you go through those tutorials, you'll find the answers there. But yes, please don't read the word which is difficult to you.
Hello. Hello.
Yes. Any other questions there? Yeah, please add Preeti ma'am in case you have got some points there.
Yeah, sir, actually, I've been teaching, English language to many aspirants,
Mhm.
like other than IELTS. So I have come up with this one technique which is called deciphering meaning from the context.
Mm.
So sometimes you need to, guess or make an educated guess about the
Yeah.
meaning of the word from the context. I mean, I know it's not possible every time, but in some situations it does, help.
Yeah.
So I mean, first of all, you actually the student needs to understand whether is it really important to know the meaning. I mean, can he or she do away, I mean, do without knowing it.
Yeah.
So if it is not possible, if it is really important to know the meaning, only then the student should break his or her head in, deciphering the meaning. And then,
I
of
end up
course,
saying something interesting. Let me tell you that. What is the best
okay,
way to avoid a lion?
run away from that.
Yeah. Are you trying to play race with lion? कि बेटा चल तेरे को हरा दूंगा. चल बेटा आज तेरे से रेस करते हैं. आजा. How? What is the best way to avoid a lion? Close your
Never
eyes.
go to the jungle.
Do meditation. ओम. कम से कम मरने के बाद तो स्वर्ग मिल जाएगा.
So go in front of it.
अच्छा. और चलो चाय पीते हैं साथ में, है ना? आज आज कौन बनेगा करोड़पति खेलते हैं. क्वेश्चन पूछो उससे आप. मर जाएगा क्वेश्चन. So how will
Sir,
you?
actually, think yourself as someone stronger than the lion.
What is the best way to avoid a lion?
Never go to the
Not
jungle.
visit the jungle.
Yeah, don't visit the jungle. Have you
Oh my
noticed
God.
that? Yeah, simple. What is the best way to avoid difficult words?
Don't say
Don't
don't
read the
appear for
passage.
IELTS.
Don't
Don't
read
read it.
it.
Don't read the
Ignore it.
passage. I'm telling you. This seems very outrageous suggestion, but it works. Please don't read the passage. Read the questions. And with regard to questions, try to guess the passage. So I always say this. Instead of reading the passage, read the first paragraph, last paragraph, first line of every paragraph, make your own story. Okay, this one is about history. This paragraph is talking something about history. Like, for example, the first paragraph says, in Babylonian times, people used to look at sun and look at moon to find out time. This is the first paragraph. In some fancy language, they have written this. The last paragraph says, now we are so much dependent on time that if the clock doesn't work, we feel that life has stopped. All right, these are the first two, the first paragraph and the last paragraph. Can you make the story? Can you fill up the blanks? शुरू में उसने बोला मेरा नाम राज है, नाम तो सुना होगा. आखिरी में उसने बोला जा सिमरन जा जी ले अपनी जिंदगी. Can't you make the whole DDLJ yourself? So if you read the first paragraph and the last paragraph, you make up your own story. You can make your own story, isn't it? If there is some boring movie and you're forced to see it, how will you see it? You'll see the beginning, you'll see the end, you'll see how ho gaya. Consider your IELTS passage as if it's a boring story. Go with some kind of anticipation. That just read the first paragraph. Okay, it's talking about history, about time. The last paragraph is talking about now that we have got all these fancy devices called as clocks. We are so much dependent on them that if they do not work, we feel that the life has stopped. What would he say from in the middle paragraph, in the paragraphs during the first and the I mean in between? What would he say? This invention, that invention, these people, that people, they came up with this device, they came up with that device, isn't it? Do you really have to read it? All those who are 20 years and above can make a lot of stories because we have seen so much of life. Just read the first paragraph, last paragraph, go to the questions. And with regard to question, look at the passage from the lens of the question. So, what is the best way to avoid a lion?
To not go there in the jungle.
Simple.
So, but at times it just so happens that I tried using this technique where we read the first two lines and probably the last line of the paragraph. But at times it just so happens that the question itself demands an answer which lies between those three lines,
Yeah,
which
true. See, I'm not saying don't read the passage at all. What I'm saying is look
right.
at the passage from the lens of the questions. So if the questions demand that you have to read certain paragraphs or certain part very, very thoroughly, then read it. No. But just because
Right.
certain word is difficult and you start kind of challenging yourself that, oh my God, I don't know the meaning of this word. हाँ मेरे को याद आ गया देखो मैं कुछ याद कर रहा था let me write it here okay just I'll take maybe 10 seconds I'll just share the screen just give me one minute please
Yes, sir.
hmm. People are skeptical about the epistemological authenticity authenticity of the news reporters बेटा इसका मतलब बताओ don't look at the meaning, all right? People are skeptical about the epistemological authenticity of news reporters. Okay, let's play a game, all right? I'm going to ask you
People
a
do not
simple question.
trust the
Huh?
news reporters.
Huh? What is the meaning of okay?
People do not trust the news reporters.
How do you know this? You are right actually.
Sir, I know the word epistemological.
ये बदमाशी है ऐसे नहीं है ऐसे थोड़ी ना हम जो पूछ रहे हैं वो पहले से ही पता होगा तो कैसे काम चलेगा but good you know the meaning of this word and I'm so glad that you know it it's a very new word when I read it for the first time I was zapped like what exactly is the meaning of it okay let's play a game okay I'm going to put a tick mark on the on the words which I know and I'm going to cross the words which I don't know do I know the meaning of people okay I know it are I know it how many of you skeptical have you heard this word
Yes.
is there anyone who says no I would like to see if no is there so skeptical I'm just curious if you all know all of you know the meaning of the word skeptical right okay
No, I
so you all
don't.
have
No.
doubtful yeah you know this right but I know I mean I want to know whether we all know about so I'll put a tick mark here
No.
also huh is there anyone who says no okay
Yeah.
Archana okay Archana so skeptical ओके तो चलो स्केप्टिकल को भी हम ऐसा क्रॉस लगा देते हैं इसको काट देते हैं हटा दिया पीपल आर समथिंग अबाउट द आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड एपिस्टोमोलॉजिकल authenticity of the news reporters you know the word of authenticity authenticity means truthfulness है ना
Genuine,
authentic बंदा है या झूठा है right
genuinity.
people are something about something so people are I'll not even read these words which I don't know right people are about authenticity of news reporters
Yeah.
what would you say what would this sentence mean even if these two words are not there people are something about authenticity of news reporters well it is talking about authenticity of reporters and on the other hand there are people so are people trust the news reporters or they don't trust the news reporters? What do you know from your knowledge? Arey bhai, they don't trust, right?
They don't trust.
We don't trust news reporters these days because we know that they are all biased. Yes or no?
Yes.
What is the meaning? What is the use of these two words? Even if I cut them, I'm still able to make out the meaning of this sentence. What is the best way to avoid the jungle? Avoid the lion? Don't go to the jungle. Please don't even pay attention to the words which you don't know. Because even without those words, most of the time you would be able to make out the meaning of the sentence.
Hello. Hello.
Yes. Yeah,
Am I
please go ahead.
audible? Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, the voice, the sound is a little low, but yeah, I can make out. You can speak, please.
Yeah, my question is like if like I'm the beginner and I'm not much good in English and grammar as well. So how should I prepare for this? As I saw so many posts from which all you sent and then I got confused like okay from where I should start. So could you please suggest for the beginner like how they can start if grammar is not good, English is not that much good. So how they can start?
Who says your grammar is not good? Who says your English is not good? You are speaking, you are able to understand. What is the definition of good English? Good English
You
is
should
like,
understand whatever I'm saying.
yeah, you are able
Yeah.
to speak and you are able to explain your question so nicely, and there is not a single grammatical mistake in whatever you said. So, who says your grammar is not good? And what do you mean by grammar? I mean,
I just like heard for IELTS and all grammar should be good, English should be good. You should
what do
read
you
the
mean
novel.
by good? There's nothing like good. Good यानी जैसे सुंदर लड़की और ऐसा कोई सुंदर लड़का होता है good. There is no good or bad grammar, bad grammar. There can be a few things which are incorrect. There's nothing like good. Perfect. What do you mean by perfect? There's no definition of perfect also. Do you think that all these people who scored 8 bands or 9 bands in IELTS come with a perfect knowledge or they are born Shakespeare's like what?
So I was worried like here people are scoring 7 and 8. So I thought where to start actually.
Yeah, so start from wherever you are, and the tutorials which I've shared start from the very beginning. They start from the foundation. Like, for example, if we talk about writing, then I talk about what is the evaluation criteria of writing, and then we go about um, so what is the best way to yeah, what is the best way to develop your writing skills? How to start? First of all, let me answer your question very categorically. So, if you are really a beginner, my suggestion would be to start with listening and reading, then graduate to writing and speaking, because listening and reading gives you they give you the right foundation to write and speak. In the name of practicing for listening and reading, you would be doing a lot of research, you would be reading a lot, and you will get involved with a lot of content presentation ideas, which will eventually help you to develop your writing and speaking as well. So in case you are a beginner, first, focus on listening and reading, then go for writing and speaking. And give a little time to yourself. Don't be in a rush. It's a fantastic journey which can not just be helpful to you to fulfill your abroad dream of working in some country or getting a job. English in itself is a beautiful language. Tomorrow, when you go somewhere and when you work, it would be of great help. So give yourself some time and start from listening and reading, then go for writing and speaking. How do we
Thank
improve
you.
our
Yeah.
vocabulary? Can you suggest some techniques? Yes, I can. As I said, start with listening and reading. And first of all, do not pay attention to the difficult words. And then, developing vocabulary is a little long term goal. What I would suggest is, develop some phrases. I would like you to go through those tutorials which I have shared. I've shared about how to develop vocabulary there. I'll tell you in brief right now. What I say is, if you really love words, and words definitely are worth remembering. If you have got strong vocabulary, it's an asset. If you really want to develop it, maintain a diary, start writing some small phrases. Don't remember individual words. start remembering phrases. I have shared some 250, 300 phrases with you, which are commonly used in essays. So if you start making two, three sentences on each of them, um, it will be great. And there is no full stop to it. Today I was teaching my kid, he's in fourth class. He asked me a word, bevers, Bevers. Has anyone heard this word? Bevers, bevers. They are found in the jungle and all that. Beavers, in fact, beavers. Bevers.
Yes, beavers, we have heard about it, I think.
What are beavers?
I think it's a fairly small animal,
Yeah,
uh, probably the size of a puppy, a dog puppy. It's that size.
yeah, a rat or a cat. So I found the
Sort
meaning
of.
of this word beavers, and I wrote this down in my diary. I maintain a diary. See, this is what it is, in which I keep on writing whatever I words or phrases I don't know. And yeah, I think that's the way. Developing vocabulary is a long-term goal, and it's worth it, I would say. But yes, keep on. I mean, we remember words with some context. So if you really want to remember a word, write the whole phrase and make a sentence on it. And these days, with the advent of Google, things are easy. You can get any word anytime. So yeah, yeah. Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Anything that you want?
Rohan
Rodents.
here,
Yeah,
if you
beaver also means to work hard. Yeah, Bever. Beavers. So sometimes you don't know. I heard this word for the first time today. I didn't know the meaning of this word. So I happened to see it on Google, did a little research, and I found it what it is. So these days, you don't need some expert to teach you vocabulary. All that you know need is some content. Like read some good books. I'm reading this book. Uh, I'll tell you.
uh, sir, one question related to the specific listening section, Rohan this side.
Mm-hmm. Please go ahead.
I'm audible, right?
Yeah, yeah, you are audible. Good.
Okay.
Go on.
So nothing, specific grammar, vocabulary, everything. I just want to share my experience with
Mm-hmm.
IELTS
Mm-hmm.
and the problem with the listening section 3.
Mm-hmm.
What I have seen that as doing a practice at home, and it happens with me that whenever the section 3 is there, where mostly section 3 is composed of a conversation between the two people. They're
Mm-hmm.
talking about some topic and everything.
More than two
But
people.
the rest of the sections are maybe a speech or lecture where one
Yeah.
person is only speaking.
Yeah.
So what I have noted the problem that maybe it is only with me and
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the people are good, but just want to know if you can give me a tip or some guidance around that. That all the mistakes or the wrong answers that due to which I am getting maybe 35 or 36 correct. The
Mm-hmm.
only mistakes are from section 3. Means
Okay.
when two people are talking, I don't know what happened that I really maybe miss the question or don't
Mm-hmm.
understand what it is, and maybe it is also possible, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wrong, that some technical part is there in something related to the IELTS overall posture, that some questions are put in a place that you are not able to identify what they are talking about, because they always give some related answers and people get confused.
Mm-hmm.
ये इसके बारे में भी बोला है, ये इसने ये भी बोला है, तो
Mm-hmm.
क्या wrong है? But my problem is when only the two people are talking. But single people, if you're giving a lecture, either it is a map or the last section, which is about some specific topic, everything went well.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe some, if you can.
Yeah, see, the first section is a dialogue. There are two people involved usually there. The second section is a monologue. The third section is a discussion where actually more than two people are involved. Like they are discussing about some plans or they are discussing about some feedback. A teacher is giving feedback to multiple students. And the
Mhm.
fourth section is again a monologue. So you're talking
Right.
about the third section, which is basically a
Section.
conversation
Yes.
between multiple people. And of course,
Right.
the topic, the content itself is a little alien, and that makes the whole thing a little more complicated because they pick up topics which are not very usual. My suggestion to you
And
would
so.
be to use the three tab technique. you know, because there are multiple
Okay.
things involved. One is the
Mhm.
challenge of the speed, second is the challenge of content. So somehow you have to tell your mind that this is manageable. You
Mhm.
have to uh, condition your mind to think that third section is manageable, even if it is technical. With half knowledge I can answer it. The best way to do it is to do the same test 2 to 3 times. When you
Okay.
start getting 40 on 40 on some tests, your mind
Mhm.
starts thinking that it is manageable, and it develops its own shortcuts and intuitive ways of getting the right answer. Because as I said, you know, like uh, like football or like cricket, there are certain things which are very uh, instantaneous. There is no technique involved in it. At that particular moment, you have to think the best thing which you could do in that particular at that particular time. And everyone has a very different solution to it. A Dhoni will
Mhm.
have a helicopter shot.
Mhm.
Dravid would have a very technical way of solving it.
Mhm.
You might like Dhoni's helicopter shot to play that kind of ball, or you might like Dravid based on your own approach. Both of them are right there at their own places, right?
Okay.
So that's what it is. In section 3, some people say that I just focus on that particular question. I don't even focus on what is going on and I get the answers. Some people have
Mhm.
some other way of getting it around. My way is to do the same test 3 to 4 times to understand how they try to hide the answer, how they try to show the answer. And I want to condition my mind that third section is not really very technical. Even if it sounds like,
Mhm.
for example, the whales wala passage, there is one where they
Mhm.
lose their track, or they talk about honeybees and how they catch some
Mhm.
infection, or they talk about some kind of research on birds. The content is really very alien. It's not difficult, but it's alien.
Mhm.
So
So, so
my
if I
question to
if
you
I
is,
may so if I may conclude, like you want to put me in a right direction, that
mhm,
it may very high possibility is there that this is just my mind perception, that
yeah,
there is something technical wrong with section 3, but
yes,
that
yes,
is not a case.
yes,
Okay, I will try next time, sir. Maybe.
yes, yes.
Yeah, you are right. Thanks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes. Any other question that you have?
Sir,
Sir, how to get around that particular focus when it comes to listening section? Like,
Mm,
no matter how much focused I am, or like, it just so happens that okay, as you said it rightly, that the mood at that point of time, or the mindset at that point of time is what will probably determine how well I'm focusing on the test or on the audio which is being played. But I have this tendency that at times I tend to lose, not exactly lose my focus, but the whole interpretation of what the audio is saying, and matching that interpretation with whatever I'm reading in the question while the person is speaking. Somewhere that interpretation mismatches, and then I tend to lose that answer. That is how
mhm.
I lost those two questions, which I got completely blanked out.
Okay. So I would like to answer this question in two parts. Your mind always tries to save you from all the agony of the world, right? So if there is something which is
Right.
very difficult, and if you are trying to get into some agony, your mind will give you a shortcut. So it starts thinking about Hema Malini, right? Rather than the passage. That's where you lose focus. So it tries to save you from all the agony of the world, all the pains of the world, right? Now,
Right.
first thing is you have to train your mind, which means you have to do the same test once again so that your
Right.
mind shuts up and it does not consider that passage to be difficult, right?
Mhm.
When you do the same passage 2 3 times, two things happens. Number one, your mind starts understanding that it's easy. Number two, you start seeing how the examiner was trying to hide the answer. So you develop the
Mhm.
technique. Like for example, as Rohan's just said, right, that sometimes they change the answer themselves.
Mhm.
Sometimes they go very fast. So my suggestion in brief to you is do the same passage once again. Wherever you have gone wrong, do the whole test once again. Do 3 to 4 tests, 3, 4 times till the time you start remembering those answers. Because if you
Oh,
start remembering the answers, you will also start remembering the techniques.
yes.
So it's not the question of you losing focus. It's your mind is trying to save you from the agony that, oh, something
Right.
was so difficult, so let's talk about something else, or let's discuss something.
Yeah, probably the pressure, keeps on developing after section one, section two, section three, and then when we
Mm.
finally reach section four, when the
One
pressure
more
is
suggestion
extremely
I
high.
have before I forget. So one is do the same test 2, 3 times. Second thing which works fantastically well is this:
Mm.
leave the test, open YouTube, and just listen to the audio without looking at the test and imagine the questions.
Oh, okay, okay.
You know, oh, at this point he had this question. So after you have done the test, just leave the test and listen to the audio, and with your eyes closed just try to imagine this place, this first question was there, this place, this question was there. So you are reconstructing the test paper with the help of audio. This is how you are thinking like an examiner. How did the examiner develop this test? He was just looking to the audio at that time, and he thought, oh, this is the point where I can confuse the user. So when you do this, you'll start thinking like an
Mhm.
examiner. When you start thinking like an examiner, you will develop a system without even reading the test paper. You would know on this particular point there has to be a question, and this has to be the word. I never
Right, right.
I never knew this technique. So I used to stay at Dwarka and I used to go to Subhash Nagar every day to teach. So on the way in the metro, I used to just listen to the audio files because there was nothing I can do. So I used to hear the audio files of the listening. This gave me a chance to reconstruct the test paper by listening to the audio alone, and it worked fantastically well.
Right. Sir, one more observation I've seen in listening, as we previously discussed the same thing for reading section also, that uh, there is no correct answer. There is a better answer, probably the best answer.
Hmm.
I, uh, I think I've observed this same thing even in listening also. At times, it just so happens the question that they have asked will probably have two answers which are correct while the person is speaking, but then one of the answer is the exact right one, and the other one is not really the one which is
Yeah, that is
actually
correct. In
matching.
MCQs, the same thing goes. Yeah. See, there is no much difference between reading and listening. The only difference is the medium. At one point, it is audio, at other point, it is visual. So in listening, the same types of question, the same kind of type of content, the same type of level of difficulty is there. The only thing is that you are listening to something and interpreting it. So you have got some clues related to tone. So you can take some clues from the tone. In reading, people consider it to be a little more difficult because you have to construct your own tone or kind of gather, imagine some, your tone. How would the speaker would have spoken this? So you have to identify the tone of the passage. So yeah, as far as reading and listening are concerned, the nature of questions are pretty much similar.
Yeah.
All right. So this brings me any other questions you have, I can address, or you can write the questions and I can answer them. As far as the two tests are concerned, I've already shared the answers and the explanations to them. Where can I see your tutorial? The tutorials are there in the Facebook group. I've uploaded them with like writing answers, reading answers, listening answers. When you go through them, you'll find all the tutorials there in the group. And the task for tomorrow is writing. What I expect you to do is, I simply want to rewrite the answers. When I say rewrite the answers, I'll be providing you the answers. I simply want you to write them again in your own words and send them back to me. Own words means even if you copy it is okay. All I want is that you just read it, and if you want to take some help, rewrite those answers and send them back. There is a lot of value in simply rewriting stuff. I wanted to learn copywriting. My master gave me 14 copies to write in 14 days. It's like you don't have to write anything. I have written something, I'm explaining it to you. You just keep on writing it and sending it back to me. I wrote 14 advertisements in 14 days. They were not mine. I rewrote what he gave. On the 15th day, he just gave me a topic to write an advertisement on. I had, when I wrote, it had all the elements of the 14 advertisements I wrote in the last 14 days. So the simplest way to develop your writing is to rewrite some good essays and letters. Yeah. So that's what you should do. I'm going to send you the answer. Start it with this one. I've also sent you some 11 essays and another 200 essays. Uh, so you can start working on them this way. Start from the last one, which I'll tell. But for tomorrow, the task is to write one letter and one essay. The answer to which I'll again post it there in the WhatsApp group. I just want you to write it, rewrite it, read it, and write it and send it back so that once with your own hands you wrote something which was of 8 bands. Even if it is copied, it is 8 bands and you have written it. So let it pass through you once. Even when you are copying something, it's absolutely fine. That's how it is. I always tell that we have got 3 stages of learning. The first stage is prepare, the second stage is practice, the third stage is perform. I'm not looking for any performance right now from you. All I'm considering is preparation and practice. So let us consider ourselves to be at the stage of preparation and practice. When we are in the stage of preparation and practice, we are supposed to imbibe and learn from different sources. We are not supposed to perform and show what I am. After enough of preparation and practice, you would automatically start, performing. So as of now, for next 2 days, consider yourself in this stage where you are using all the answers and producing them in your own form so that you would learn, right? So that's the task for tomorrow.
So where's the question for it? You'll be sharing it in the group.
Yeah, I'll share in the group. It is the first question of book 8, test A. So the letter and the essay which is in this test A is what you are supposed to write.
Okay.
So how you deal with the speaking tomorrow
Yeah.
or is it
Yeah,
tomorrow?
tomorrow we'll talk about writing and speaking. Speaking, I would like you to watch. If I've shared an interview there with you of Sheenam. I want you to go through
Mm,
it once. It has a
mm,
lot of very useful tips about speaking. How she answered questions which she was totally unaware of, and where she would could have lost marks. You will find that in that
I
interview.
was
Sheenam
learning
scored, I think,
speaking.
8 or
I
8.5 in speaking. So there's a lot of
okay.
value in what she's
That's
saying
good.
there.
That's a nice idea you have given to us. And I was lagging in speaking. I don't have vocabulary to frame a sentence.
Yeah, so don't judge yourself as of now. First of all, see some good people. You might find, might say tomorrow, oh, I'm good at speaking. I saw Sheenam. She scored 8.5. She speaks like
Mm,
me. I'm also good. Why do you? Why? See, if you are your own judge, then what is the use of IELTS? Let IELTS say,
it's
no, you are not
like
good.
we
Why
have to
should you say
consider
I'm not
our
good at
brain
speaking?
and our knowledge in spite of guessing.
No,
You
no.
have to analyze ourselves while going to others.
Yeah, I understand. And but then let's first of all at least try to understand what the game is. Before that, also only how can we say I'm not good, I'm not, I'm good.
I have just seen many talk very perfectly in this session, but unable to express my views.
You're
Um,
expressing your views very nicely. Don't go with this. Let me tell you my experience. So when
mm,
I went for speaking test, I was really very confused and worried because I didn't get any chance to practice speaking. I didn't get
yeah.
anybody who could help me with speaking, or I could not really find a good tutor for speaking. So I was going in the metro train to take the IELTS exam, and I
Mm,
was worried. I I thought I don't know what would happen. So in that
mm,
state, I was totally skeptical about it. I was never sure what would happen. So in the train, in the metro, while going to the examination hall, I told myself that I'll simply speak what I know. I won't
okay.
try to do anything extra. And the
Mm,
examiner asked me which subjects were your favorite subjects when you were in school. I was so
mm.
perplexed. I said Hindi was my favorite. I really liked Hindi more than English. So I said Hindi
Okay.
was my favorite subject and I liked Hindi more than English. So in an IELTS exam, I'm telling this.
Mm,
Because I knew that if I try to cook up anything, I'll goof up. The only thing I
yeah.
could do at that time was I could be absolutely honest about it. I scored 8.5 in speaking
Oh, that's great.
and I was surprised. So, this is what I mean, as far as my interpretation of speaking goes, you have to be absolutely authentic. You have to be absolutely free from your mind, and you should not try
But
to.
these people had given such a band descriptions. The seven band is for this, and six band is for
Hold
this,
on,
and
hold
six
on, hold
band is
on.
for this.
End of the day, it's a language test. There are certain aspects of language which they have come up with, but beyond that, you have to be authentic and clear about it, right? If I have to, lexical resources and grammar and
Mm.
this and that makes the language thing very technical. So if you are
And
speaking
how
the way you
can
are
I
speaking,
frame? I'm from Hyderabad, sir. Me,
no,
Archana.
what I'm saying is if you speak the way you are speaking right now, and if you just
Mm,
try to express yourself in the simplest possible way, and if you do not
okay.
try to impress the examiner, it is enough. Use some simple techniques. Watch Shinam's video. She will tell
Okay.
you how to
I'll.
deal with questions which you don't know. Like for
Mm,
example, I'll just take one example from her interview. The question was, "Do you like reading?" She
mm.
didn't like reading. So she said, yeah, I like reading very much and I keep on
Can
reading
we say
different types of
yes?
books. She said,
Can
I
we
like
say
reading very much and I like reading different types of books. The next question was, which book did you read last? She said, I'm a dentist and I was reading about history. No, yeah, the question was, do you like reading history books?
mm,
She said, yeah, I'm interested in history. I keep on reading history books. So she said,
I
okay,
had
which,
given a mock test in speaking.
hold on, hold on, hold
She
on.
asked me. She
So,
asked me about the
Hari, hold on, hold on.
poem.
Let me complete. No? So she said,
Okay.
I'm a dentist and I was reading a book about history of dentistry because I
Oh
wanted
my
to
god.
know how dentistry started.
Okay.
So you have to create opportunities for yourself to showcase your English. You're not supposed to be absolutely authentic or honest there. I'm not saying that uh, you should be cooking up and you should be like a crook, but please try to
Mm,
understand it is a
mm,
test of English and you have to create opportunities to showcase your English. It's not yes or no. Yeah.
okay.
So it's very,
But
very.
basic minimum knowledge should be within us to give a test, na?
Yeah, see, if you have been speaking at your PT, what is that? Parent teachers meetings in English with the teachers, if
Yes.
you can converse with some general public with in English, it's good. You're not supposed to speak something special in the IELTS speaking test. Just that you should be speaking grammatically correct English and you should have appropriate words to describe your mind, to describe your ideas in the simplest possible way. That's it. You're not supposed to be a Shakespeare or Shashi Tharoor to score 8 bands in speaking.
No, I'm not expecting 8 band, but at least 6 band.
No, 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 no. This is again
Because,
bad. If you are expecting 6 bands, you'll get 5 bands. I'm
oh
not
my god,
saying.
I don't.
Yeah. So don't have a small target, but then be clear of what the game is all about,
Okay.
right? All I'm saying is that y- it's very much possible to score 8 bands also with the kind of preparation which you have regarding, I mean, yeah. So whatever
Well,
you are good
follow.
enough to score 8. You are already there, but then you should not try to overdo it.
Okay. I don't know. I can get listening about 35 to 37. In reading, I'm getting 39 or 38. I don't know where I'm lagging.
There's nothing that you're lagging. As I
I
told, do
mean,
the same test two, three times. See, it's not like
that's what.
there is one thing
No,
which
it's
will happen
not.
and so
The
38, 30.
audio will
Enough.
sound.
Stop it. Okay, 1 minute. Don't try to be there
No.
will never be. If I take a test today, I may also score
Hmm.
38, 39. I may not score 40 on 40. Nobody is there in the
Okay.
world who would claim that I'll every time I'll score 40 on 40. So 38.
No, I got my answer that listening, the audio will play only once. No, in the reading, our paper will be in our hands. I can go through it again and again to get the perfect answer.
See, let me tell you things step by step. Please do not please do not judge the tests by your own perspective. Please try to take my advice and follow it a little bit. What I want you to do is this: take one listening test,
Mm,
whatever marks you get, check the answers, read the transcript, do the same test
mm,
once again. Keep on
mm.
doing it till you get 40 on 40 in that test. As I told you,
Okay.
you are in a preparation and practice stage. Don't look
Yes.
for performance right now. Don't judge
Okay.
yourself. Oh my God. No. Take second
When
test.
will be,
Hold on, hold
when
on.
will
No, hear me out first. Now, when you
okay.
do the second test, let's say you score 30. Be happy with that
Mm,
30. Go through those
okay.
10 questions and do the
Mm,
same test once again.
mm,
Keep on repeating that till you get 40 on 40.
okay.
Go to the third test, do the same thing. Go to the fourth test, do the same thing. After fifth or sixth test, you would have developed a
Mm,
pattern, you would have developed an
mm,
understanding of what this test is all about. People
mm,
commit this mistake that they try to generate a philosophy around listening, that oh, there has to
mm,
be a technique. I'm missing on technique. What they miss on as far as listening is concerned is the reflex system. The system
mm,
itself takes some time to
mm,
learn. It's only after learning that it will
mm,
start performing. Can I give an example, a small example?
mm.
You all
Yes.
responded to my Facebook advertisements, right?
Yes.
Facebook
Me,
takes some
90.
time to learn. So it took around 7 days for Facebook to understand who are the people who would
Mm,
respond to the ad. I did not change the advertisement, but Facebook
mm,
has a learning cycle. They tell you
mm,
that initial four,
mm,
5 days, I'm going to learn and understand.
mm,
So for 4, 5 days, neither me
mhm,
nor
mm,
Facebook can do anything to get the right people to me. Similarly,
mm,
your own system, the intelligent system
mm,
that you are, will take some time
mm,
to learn. What happens is we move very swiftly from preparation and practice to perform. Right now, you are not in perform stage.
mm,
You are at the stage of preparation and practice. Let the
mm.
stage emerge. Don't force it. I'm getting 38 on 40. How do I get 40 on 40? No, it won't happen. Your system is right now two horsepower or whatever horsepower. How can it become performing at 10 horsepower unless you practice it? So it's simple. What I'm trying to say is very simple. Listening and reading is a matter of doing the same test again and again. There are certain techniques involved, but those techniques have their own limitations. They do not take you beyond a certain point. At one point, you have to leave the techniques, and somebody said emotional intelligence. So, yeah, you have to start developing your own intuitive thinking. Don't be
Mm,
a perfectionist. Watch Sheenam's video. She's saying this. She scored 8.5 in her real test. She says, don't be a perfectionist
mm.
because she missed one or two questions because she was trying to correct the spellings.
Okay. She can transfer it after, no? Anyway, they will give 10 minutes extra.
Yeah, so that's what she was doing, no? Like the way you are trying to become a perfectionist right now. She was also trying to be like that.
Oh my God, you're kidding me,
So yeah, First go through the journey, then tell you that you are not getting the outcome or not. And 38 is good enough. It won't go beyond it. I mean, if I tell you do this, you will get 40 on 40 every time. No, it won't happen. I
No,
got
no, no, no.
so many people get
Some,
40 on 40 in their real test, you know, like when
uh,
I got my results in listening, I got 40 on 40. I was surprised. I
mm,
never expected. I committed two, three mistakes there. I know for sure they were incorrect, but I just
oh,
guessed them, and my guesses got
mm.
right.
Sometimes it happens with me also.
So
I
just go
guess.
with that. See, you have to give a little scope to God also, no? Let Him play His part. Yeah, do some good karma. Beyond 38, it is karma.
Okay.
Yeah. So do some dhan
I'm
punya.
not
Give some
38
five
in.
rupees.
I'm.
Give an
Okay,
off to
let's
your
see.
Kamwali Bai. You will get 40 on 40. Okay. Yeah.
Every time I'm getting 35 plus, sometimes I might get 26, 20, even 21 also. Why I don't know. Maybe my focus gone somewhere, so I
Yeah.
got lost.
So just be at the preparation and practice stage all the time. See, don't try to be a perfectionist. You will never reach
Mm.
perfection. There's
After
nothing like
seeing a
because
video,
it's
I
it's
got
a
something, no?
like this girl who
Yeah,
scored some
I'm
whatever
getting
marks.
interested. So I'm interrupting you.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm talking about this girl who scored 9 in reading. Last time she
Mm.
scored 9 in speaking. Have you ever seen a person who scored 9 in speaking?
No,
So this
I
girl
guess you
scored
will be the one.
this girl scored 9 in speaking last time. The one whose results I displayed to you today. She scored 9 in speaking the last time. This time she scored what, 8 or 8.5 something? So
Mm, maybe
how
confirm.
can someone's performance go down? But it happens.
Depends upon evaluator also.
Yeah, so there are so many things at play, and you have to take a few things with a grain of salt. You cannot just be very objective about everything.
Okay.
All right.
What happened?
So,
We have.
in case now you have any questions, we have taken maybe half an hour over. In case you have any
Mm,
questions, please post them there. I'll answer them, and let's take it forward from there. Your task for tomorrow is writing. I would expect you to write a letter and an essay. I'll be posting there in the group the question as well as answer. I simply
mm,
want you to rewrite it and paste it there or just write it there. All right.
oh,
While try to write it without looking at the model answer, but even if you are copying it, I'm okay with it because this is the stage where we are simply trying to learn things. Yes, Preeti, please go ahead.
Sorry to add few more minutes to your already extended session. Yeah, so actually, since we are going to be over with listening and reading today,
Mhm.
so I just wanted to add one thing that uh, there is one technique, or I mean I wouldn't call it a technique, but things should be done in small chunks rather than doing the entire big thing in one go. So what I actually want to say is that instead of, I mean, especially for reading, what I would say is that instead of taking the entire reading test in one go, what the aspirants should do is that they should start off with taking one passage, setting aside 20 minutes, setting a time limit of 20 minutes, and try to solve one passage in 20 minutes. And like start off with a time limit of 30, reduce it to 25, and then to 20. So I mean that's also something that helps,
Yeah,
because
super.
even your yeah, so even your mind, tells you that okay, I have only one passage to do, and I have 20 minutes, so it's not a big deal. So I mean, this is what even I have experimented with my students, and some of them have like
Yeah,
been
it is very true.
successful.
I was reading a book called as Atomic Habits. The book says that if you want to develop the habit of going to the gym, for first 5 days, tell yourself that I'm going to the gym for 5 minutes only. So the
Exactly.
moment
Yes.
5 minutes are over, you come back. By this, you develop the discipline of going to the gym, remaining there for the first for a few day for a few minutes, and you're coming back. So if every day you this system develops, going coming back, going coming back, if that gets developed, then you can start taking 5 minutes to 10 minutes, 10 minutes to 15 minutes, 15 minutes to half an hour. So in 15 days you would be,
Exactly.
so yeah, because it's like training your system rather than developing perfection. It's like you are making your body or mind acclimatize to that kind of situation first. So that makes sense.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, so in case you have any questions, please write them there in the group, or you can shoot them in Facebook, and I would try to answer most of them. Uh, yeah. Anything else? Anything that comes up, we can discuss there. Tomorrow's task, as I told, is writing and speaking. I'll be sharing a few speaking documents of speaking where we have got some content related to it, and we'll take it forward from there. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.